Welcome to our weekly program, The Inside Story of Chabad in America through the Mindel Archives. I hope we all had good Yontif. We didn't have our program a couple of weeks because I was out of town, was very busy, so I came back now. So Baruch Hashem, from now on we'll have our weekly Thursday night program. This week is Pashas Breishis, Seder Breishis. We're beginning to read the Torah from the beginning. The Seder Breishis is not only the beginning of the Chumash Breishis, but it's also the beginning of the entire Chamisha Chumshei Torah. Breishis, Seder Breishis, is an introduction to the entire Torah. It's a very essential, it's a Ike Dike Parsha. Some Sfarim, it says, and many Rebbes, they were asked Shailas about Emunah. People ask them about Emunahs. They have Sveikis in Emunah, they have doubts in Emunahs Hashem. So they said, they gave them the answer, to strengthen your Emunah, learn the Seder Breishis. And with all the Meforshim, and that will give you the Emunahs Hashem. Now, by the way, if you remember that this summer, we had about 5 programs, and there's still more to go, which maybe I'll do another time. 5 programs about the class in Manhattan with Mr. Cowan and Mr. Stillman, that the Friedrich Rebbe was very interested, and the Rebbe, and they sent Rabbi Mindel every week to give a report. These were intellectual people, and they had Shilas in Emunah, and Rabbi Mindel gave a report, and I showed you the Ksav Yad of the Rebbe, how the Rebbe answered many questions. This was about the Breishis. This was based on the Bible unauthorized. This is a Breishis, the beginning. And so this gave them, this strengthened them, the Emunah. So we see also that the Rebbe also felt that to strengthen Emunah is to learn the Seder Breishis. The number 2, Breishis, in Sfarim it says that you can learn all the Tayyad mitzvahs, I guess with Ramazim, through in this Seder. Also, this Seder is very unique. The entire Torah, from the beginning until end, is to give your Shamayim children. And we see this in the first word in Breishis and the last word in V'zois HaBracha. Breishis is a Rosh Tevis abbreviation, Tinoike Shel Beis Rabban, and the last word in Rashi, in V'zois HaBracha, is Yashir Koyach Sheshibarto Tinoike Shel Beis Rabban. That means that this teaches chinuch, how we should teach Tinoike Shel Beis Rabban children. That the whole Torah, in other words, to instill the Emunah in children, to know that Torah Tziva Lonu Moshe Emes V'Torah Emes is by Breishis, is the beginning and the end. Means the whole Torah teaches you how we should teach children. When children start learning, the first Breishis, the first thing that they ask is, why is Breishis with a big base? And also, l'chura, we should start the Torah with an Aleph. When they learn Aleph base, the Aleph comes first and base comes second. So why does the Torah begin with a base? Of course, there are Meforshim that speak about it, and they say, because Taki the Aleph had complaints that you should have begin the Torah with me, but the Mishnah said that when it will come to Aseres HaDibros, 10 Commandments will begin with an Aleph, with Anoich Hashem Elokecha. But there is another pshat why the Torah begins with a base, and this is an answer to these children. They have to know that base is number 2, Aleph is 1. Derech Eretz Kodma LeTorah. Derech Eretz comes before Torah. In order for the Torah that they're going to learn, that we teach the children, first, how can the Torah be a kiyum when there is Derech Eretz, respect before Torah? Also, when a child becomes optionish, you teach him, put him on tzitzis, davening, Kabbalah soil, Yirah Shamayim, that Yirah Shamayim that they will have before learning Torah, then the base, then the Torah will be a proper learning Torah. When you have Yirah Shamayim. And we all know that the Frierdiker Rebbe was also very much in learning Komets Alafo, Komets Beis, and the Frierdiker Rebbe said that that's how we should learn with children, because that will give children Yirah Shamayim. So the Emunah, that will give them Emunah for the entire life. Another reason for Beis, now speaking about Emunah, we once spoke, number 9 is a lucky number, because 9 is emes. Aleph is 1, Mem is 40 or 400, 40, Tov is 400 or 4. 1 is 9. So 9 is emes. What is the opposite of 9? Sheker. When you take a 9 and you put it upside down, it becomes a 6. 6 is sheker. Shin is 3, Kuf is 1, Resh is 2. So, every number that we multiply by 9, the answer is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 8 and 1 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 7 and 2 is 9. Until millions. Why? Because 9 is emes. Emes always has to go back to emes. When we count, usually, it's counting 3, 6, 9, 12. 3 is a chazaka. The Torah begins with a base to show that Torah is emes. If the Torah would have begun with an Aleph, then let's count the Aleph base. Aleph base Gimel is 6. 6 is sheker. What comes after Gimel? Dalet Hey Vav is 15. 5 and 1 is 6 again. And till the end of the Aleph base. That's why the Torah begins with a base. That base counts from base. Base Gimel Dalet is 9. Then comes Hey Vav Zion, is again 9. And till the end of Aleph base. That's why that shows that Torah's emes. And this is the idea here to put into children that Moshe emes, V'Torah's emes, this is the beginning of Bereshis, how we should teach children. Now let's go back to Seder Bereshis. And this is a talk, I guess, that Rabbi Mindel wrote down, and this has many hagos, many notations from the Rebbe. So that's why I'm going to do this with you, because the Rebbe put a lot of work, a lot of pages here, but I'm going to make it a bekitzer, short. The root of the word Torah that he writes here is Hayra, a lesson. The beginning Torah is Melosh Nehara, a teacher. Torah teaches us how we should live in our everyday life. That's why it's called Torah. And as the Rebbe writes here, we should know about God, our Creator, and follow the ways of God, the Creator. So the Torah begins with creation, in Bereshis, that we should know the Eibusher through creation. How does Torah teach us? There's three ways. Number one, the whole Torah, the whole Chamisha Chumshei Torah, stories, examples, maises. We can learn out how we should conduct ourselves through stories. Number two, mitzvahs. The Mishnah tells you, keep Shabbos, Aseres HaDibros, whatever it says in the Torah, how to do, how we should live, mitzvahs. And the third thing is, he says, intensive study. When you study, intensive study, that will give you a way of life, how we should look in, how we should conduct ourselves. The Torah begins, Bereshis, with the story of creation, and the first human being was born. Adam Rishon, Chava, Cain, Hevel, and Rabbi Mindel didn't write Shes, so the Rebbe wrote himself another son, Shes. Meaning that the happening of the first generation, the highlights of the Seder Bereshis, is creation and the birth of Adam and Chava. That's it. Nothing else. Next parsha, Noach, the next generation, is also Noach, the flood, and the Tower of Babel. Now, we should know that the first 20 generations happened within a period of 2,000 years. Meaning, two Seders, Bereshis and Noach, happened within a period of 2,000 years. Why? Because if Torah is Meloshin Hayra, Torah is a teacher, there's nothing that we can learn besides these few things. I'm sure more things happen within a period of 2,000 years. But there's nothing we can learn out. The only thing we can learn at Hira is the creation, or the Menchave, the Eitz Hadas, Noach, and the flood, and that's it. That's all. Now, the rest of the Torah happened within a period of 500 years. The first two parshas, 2,000. The other parshas from Lech Lecha, 500 years. Meaning, Lech Lecha, Vayera, Chaisara, Toldes, Vayetze, Vayishlach, Vayeshev, Miketz, Vayigash, Vaychi, Shmois, Vayera, Boy, Bishalach, Yisro, Mishpotim, Truma, Tetzavi, Kisisa, Vayagil Pkude, Vayikro, Tzav, Shmini, Sazriya, Metzoira, Acherimois, Gedoshim, Emer, Bahar, Buchakoise, Bamidbar, Nosoi, Baloischa, Shlach, Koira, Chukas, Bala, Pinchas, Matis, Masoi, Dvorim, Voschanon, Ekev, Re'ei, Sheftim, Kiseitzi, Kisovei, Nitzovi, Vayelech, Hazinu, Vazois, HaBracha, happened within a period of 500 years. The reason for this portion is because Avraham Avinu was born in the year 1948, 1,948 years after Brias Olam, after creation. And 52 years later was 2,000 years. And this became a new phase, because this was the time that Avraham Avinu began to spread the knowledge of the Eibishter, and Avraham became what the Eibishter told him about to go to Eretz Yisrael, Lech Lecha Me'yatzachom, whatever it is. So this is why the Torah is this is 2,000, and this is more in details. The beginning of Avraham is, the Torah speaks more in detail. So all the stories that we learn, the Torah goes into there because there's more that we can learn out. Torah Meloshin Hoira. So in other words, all the things that, first of all, the creation, trees, they wish to create it this week. Trees, birds, fishes, land, animals, and man is the purpose, the sake of everything is because of Adam and Chava. And this is what we can learn out as a hero. Now, from Lech Lecha is already more. Speaks about Sorah, Avraham Avinu, Sorah, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Shvatim, Lavan, Esau, the 70 people that went into Mitzrayim, about Moshe and Aaron, he didn't word in Mitzrayim, didn't word the names to give the Torah, and didn't word in the desert, and the man, and everything that happened within a period of 500 years, because this is the only thing that we, Yidden, we can learn out. So that's why this goes into details. So this is the reason. So Torah is a hero. Now, Bichlal, It's not a science, history. You can learn out from this. But this is not what Torah is. Torah is not a history book. Torah is not history. Torah is a lesson. This is a very, very important, that's why as we see, so the Avos paved their derech, the way they paved the derech for us to learn out. This is example. This is the Mises stories of Torah. Number 2 is, of course, mitzvahs we said before. What you have to do, what you don't have to do. Shabbos. Why do we keep Shabbos? Because the Eibishter kept Shabbos. And also the kibbutz avayim, we learn out and whatever it says in Kedoshim, Aseres HaDibrish. And the third part is the deep understanding of Torah. That will bring us, by learning more Torah in depth, that will bring us heroes how we should live in our everyday life, how we should look at the whole world. Now, when any history book that we learn, that we read, or a person goes to college, he gets his PhD, that's it. That's all. He has it, that's all it is. Torah is b'li gvul. So the more you learn Torah, the more you see the depth, the more you see how much you don't know. I just want to mention, before I finish here, I want to mention that the Rebbe writes, Rabbi Mendel writes, but the Rebbe is make sure to correct that. People write Adam and Chava, this week, Adam and Chava, in English, they call Adam is Adam, and Chava is Eve. They call Chava Eve. And Rebbe didn't like that. Chava, this is also goes to, I hear many speakers also say Adam and Eve, and you shouldn't say Eve. In the Old English, Eve comes from the word evil. A woman is evil, which is the opposite of Torah. Torah is, a woman is called Ein Kol Chai. She brings life in this world. She is the Akeres Habayis. What the Eibishter praises women, very important. But the Amalek Ketzait in the years, according to the Goyim, it's Eve, and it remained like this, that a woman is called Eve. Just like, for example, also in the Old English, I think I mentioned it once, you can't, Rabbi Mendel writes, Levaya. Levaya means to accompany. But in English, they call it funeral, because funeral comes from the word fumes, used to burn the body. There's many words that have to be very careful. The Rebbe is very careful that everything has to be b'diuk. So the people that use Chava, Eve, is not correct. That's what I want to bring out in this thing. So there's much more to speak about this parsha, but of course we'll leave it for another time. Next week we will continue our weekly program. Thank you very much.